chasing the shadows into the light. But the cupboard got there and the locks got broke. The new South Africa became a joke, while the looters danced and the coffers drained, and a sleepy voice was all that remained. Oh, let's make new friends, let's turn the page, step out of the dark and off of this stage. We don't want the gloom or the backroom deal, we want a future that's bright and real. Goodbye to the shadows, hello to the sun. Let's find a party where everyone's one. From Pretoria's halls to the dusty street, the patronage puppies are tasting the sweet. While the silver is gone and the lights go low, they're putting on such a vintage show, with old school slogans and red star lines. While the rest of us look for better signs, they're biting the hand that helped us grow. It's time for the Rogues Gallery to go. We saw the ships on the deep blue sea, but that's not the company for you and me. We don't want the mullahs or the iron fist, give us a friendship we truly miss. Black, brown and white, we're standing tall, asking for liberty for one and all. Keep your comrades, we want the bold, we want a story that's paved in gold. Oh, let's make new friends, let's turn the page, step out of the dark and off of the stage. We don't want the gloom or the backroom deal, we want a future that's bright and real. Goodbye to the shadows, hello to the sun. Let's find a party where everyone's one. Whoa, peace and love and a proper day. New friends. Capitalism looks really great. Democracy is the way to be a brand new friend for you and me. For you and me. Vir 300 jaar was hy die enigste naam, die ou in die hoed wat al die skuld geneem het. Arme ou Jan met sy Nederlandse oosvloot, westig winkel op 'n straat in Kaapstad. Die ANC het 'n gunsteling reël gehad, as dinge verkeerd loop is dit 'n Jan gemaakte ontwerp. Van die Moenie trek tot die wenners parade, elke enkele skuld was 'n prys wat Jan betaal het voor koor. O, die geskiedenisboeke kry rus. Ons het 'n nuwe ou gevind om op die proef te stel. Sit die portret weg, bære die ou veerpin. Daar is 'n splinternuwe skak vir die politieke wetsontwerp. Koor, ons verruil die Jan-kaart vir 'n Trump-kaart. Dis die blink nuwe manier om die blaamspel hard te speel. Gaan die krag uit, is die pad vol gate. Moenie na die begroting of die kieserspeilings kyk nie. Draai net daar die kaart om, sien die goue hare. Die dom is die rede vir die slytasie. Ja, ons verruil vandag die Jan-kaart vir 'n Trump-kaart. Die infrastruktuur verkrummel, die krane loop leeg. Maar moenie vra hoe en moenie vra hoekom nie. Vergeet die jare van dieselfde ou groep. Die oranje man en Daisy kom vir jou. Ongelykheid styg, dis 'n Mar-a-Lago komplot. Hy is so gemeen en boos, glo dit of nie. Die oorspronklike gangster is uit-ideer, want Jan van Riebeeck is nie meer moordnieuws nie. Brug. Brug is die nuwe sondebok. Die vars allebei. Wanneer die beloftes in 'n leuen verander, koers sluit aan. Amerika is gemeen, die wêreld is so koud. Dis die beste storie wat nog ooit vertel is. Kry jou kaart, speel jou deel, gitaar, sing dit is solo. Koor. Ons reël die jankkaart vir 'n trumkaart. Dis die blink nuwe manier om die blankspoel hard te speel. Gaan die krag uit, is die pad vol gate. Moenie na die begroting of die kieserspeiling kyk nie. Draai net daardie kaart om, sien die goue hare. Die don is die rede vir die sleeptasie. Ja, ons reël vandag die jankkaart vir 'n trumkaart. Ons reël die jankkaart, tot ziens Jan.
Sien jou later,
Hallo Don,
jy's die heide.
dis nou alles sy skuld, elke liewe bietjie daarvan. Kyk na die kaart, baba.
Laaste fonkelende sentklokkie.
Trading in die Jankkaart für die Trumkaart. Yep, all good stuff there, folks. Für die Trumkaart. Yeah, there we go. All right, this sound is good. Welcome back to Night Owls this evening, 14 January 2026. Pleasure to have you join me. And breaking news this evening, a number of things. No explosions in Tehran yet, so that's not the news. Utopi's here. Work people, Tolkien, Charles Van Olsen, our voice of reason, Leslie Wilson, Angelique, Reno Watt, Avella, Alex in Northeast Ohio. It's snowing there, eh? No snow here. It's 39 degrees here, just above freezing, so we're okay for the moment. Did have rain today, though. And then Vilma Hearn, welcome to. Kathy Price, our song composer. Thank you for that. AJ Quid, who else we got there? Abby, welcome to you. And then once we got started here, we got Lucinda Summers. Is that any relation to Suzanne Summers, who recently passed away? Nadine Heinrich Geneda. Machines warmed up, ready to make chips. Okay. Sven Stalbot, Petros van der Linde, and then we've got Emerencia Quinn, Abby T. Publican. And then who else we got there? Platinum Bear. Abby. Dogzilla's popping in, and he can't resist being a turd, talking about politics. Goodbye, then. What are you here for otherwise? Jarethra, this is a chat session, so this isn't the news session, so stop polluting the chat. Charles, Dogzilla, Jean, Bobby Jean. And what else we got there? Gus is back. There's an OG Gus. Trippy. Buffalo Billy is going. Momo. Don Janssen van Rensburg. Good evening. Yes, the Viceroy. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Keone, welcome to you. Jarethra. Oh my goodness, Xavier Grayling, Jules S.A., Paul de Klerk, Cecilia Kruger, Multipass is back again. Good to see you, good to see you again there. All right, I missed it, zipped ahead on me here. Xavier Grayling, Johan Barnard, Chessie is here, Jared Horn, Philip Holtz, and Christopher Aden, Reno Watt. I think Jared Horn, I caught everybody. Oh, Garrett Gillich, du alte Kanaba, you were up early. You must think you're back in the Army. What's going on, man? Bex, just me. Well, it's just me, too. Lucy Zella, welcome to you. Lucy Zeely, sorry. Okay. Welcome, folks. It's good to see you back again tonight. Trading in the Jankkaart for the Trump card. I hope you enjoyed that song. A lot of fun making that one. Came out pretty good. Anyway, so let's just take a quick chat here. Oh, he's still here. He's lurking. Dogzilla's still here. We'll play your song, Dogzilla. Found his compass. Oh, he found his compass. I didn't know he lost his compass. He found his way. Well, folks, so we've got, let's just do a little quick breaking news. We'll cover this. Minnesota, there are a bunch of wackadoodles. I do need to break this news, which came out a few hours back after I went off the air, and is still relatively fresh breaking news. By the way, I watched Nick Shirley's reporting. Interesting reporting, but the dude doesn't seem to be the one that's informed. It's the old guy who's done all the research for 7 years. It seems like he's grifting off of his stuff. I'm not attacking Nick Shirley, but I'm saying it's not like this guy broke a story. He's got someone that knows what's going on, and that's the guy that did all the legwork, and he's just playing off of that. But it's still doing a great service. But boy, the racism and bigotry of these evil Somalis who've been grifting us for billions and billions of dollars. Yep. Yeah, the old guy had all the info, anime. It's not him. He's the one that did all the research. He's the one who looks up the stuff on the sites. He's just, he's like those birds that eat off the backs of rhinos and elephants. He's just living off of him. Yep, I wasn't impressed. Getting all the credit for it. And it wasn't him. See, when people help me with a story, they get credit for it. U.S. to suspend 75 nations from immigrant visas. 75 countries will no longer be allowed to immigrate to the United States. Wow. It's an indefinite pause. It affects the entire planet, folks. The entire planet. U.S. suspending tick birds, that's the one, immigrant visa processing from 75 countries over public assistance. That's crazy. Wow. Opinions over analysis. That's what you offer, Dogzilla. Never one fact, just your bogus opinions. Facts here. 75 countries banned. That's a fact. Showed you the receipts, but you can't handle the truth. So, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Other shows to enjoy. I'm sure there's some basket weaving that will get your attention somewhere. Don't let the door hit you in the ass way out. Thanks for announcing your departure. I'm sure most people will be glad to see you go. Yep. 75 countries suspended. Trump administration definitely pauses immigrant visa processing for 75 countries. Trump administration halts immigrant visa processing from 75 countries. Apparently these facts are opinions to Dogzilla. Can't handle the facts. You can't handle the truth, man. That's the problem with these leftists. They can't handle the truth. All right, so let me talk about this. This is in a video I have premiering coming up. Poor doggy. Poor doggy. Give him a milk bone. Right, so this is in a video that I have coming up a little bit later on, premiering at 12:30 my time, so 7:30 South Africa time in the morning. So these are the countries in Africa, because no doubt the ANC, the Washington Post, and others will portray this just like they falsely portrayed a Muslim ban when Trump banned immigration from 6 countries previously, and they weren't all Muslim countries. In addition, he also on the same day lifted the ban on people immigrating here from Niger, which had agreed to meet the standards. Never mention that. A majority black Muslim country. That's a fact. See, that's something Dogzilla can't handle. He can't handle that. That's a fact. That would have really made his head explode when I explained that. When they called it a Muslim ban, it wasn't a ban. Niger is a majority Muslim country. It is a majority Muslim country with majority black population, overwhelmingly black in the Sahel. And he lifted the ban on Nigerians immigrating here the same day. That was a ban imposed by Obama. He lifted it. So does that make Obama anti-Muslim, racist? No, it didn't, but it makes Trump one because he lifted the ban. But because he applied Nigeria, 208 million people, Nancy Pelosi fraudulently used U.S. House of Representatives stationery and the podium and time to steal and propagandize and lie that he was a racist anti-Muslim, which is nonsense. That wasn't what happened. Now, in this case here, I know what's going to happen. Oh, it's racist, except that Russia, Georgia, Kyrgyzstan, Belarus, Bosnia-Herzegovina, these are all countries that are banned. They're all majority white. They're all majority Christian countries. So let them try to frame this any way they like, because the facts hurt the minds of the little people. But here are the African countries, and it's full of countries. But you know who's not on the list? Do you know who's not on the list? And do you know who will squeal the loudest? South African politicians. Not on the list. South Africans can still immigrate to America. It has nothing to do. Watch them falsely link the two. You watch tomorrow. When this comes out on Cockprot24, which is an illegitimate news organization, on IOL, on Daily Maverick, on Newsroom Africa or SABC, you watch, they'll report, oh, Trump didn't include South Africa because he's letting white immigrants come to America. No. Refugee has nothing to do with these. These countries, if the refugees were allowed from there, could still come over. South Africa's not on the list. Who else is not on the list? Botswana's not on the list. This. Mozambique's not on this list. Namibia's not on this list. Funny that. Those are all black countries. Here's the list of those who can no longer immigrate to America. Algeria, an Arab white country. Cameroon, Cape Verde, Congo, Egypt, Arab white. Eritrea, Ethiopia, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Libya, a white Arab country. Morocco, a white Arab country. Nigeria, Congo, DRC, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, Togo, Tunisia, white Arab country, and Uganda. Why not? Because the people coming from Georgia tend to be overwhelmingly living off of public assistance. Even though immigrants are barred from using this stuff for a period of time, they still wind up overwhelming on it. In fact, I looked that statistic up. Let me find that. Do I have it here? I had it here somewhere. Shoot. No, I don't have it. I had it here somewhere. I must have deleted it. Anyway, something like 55% of immigrants after 5 years are using public assistance, relying on state benefits, as opposed to 39% of native-born Americans, which is still pretty high, at least one program. BS24 is going to say exactly that. It's exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, this is because of the white refugee program. The white refugee program. It's nothing to do with refugees. Nothing to do with it. Black South Africans can immigrate here. Patrice Motsepe can immigrate to America. He's got the money for it. He's not banned. He's not banned. Nope. See who's still here? Look at that. Look who's still in the chat. You were timed out last night because someone called President Trump a clown and Putin a loser. Where was that at, Alan? Where were you timed out at? Then they never intend to work if you're still depending on the state. Well, look at this. I mean, Nick Shirley's fraud exposure is insane. It's not just in Somalia. But the defense from this racist, bigot, scumbag, tubalard, privileged little shithead that was from Somalia wearing H.H. Healy, very expensive brand of winter jacket. That thing is, I can't afford those things. Very expensive. But this toothless oak running around, screaming at him, getting in his space, invading his space, that's no, that's not acceptable. And telling him to get out of our neighborhood. It's not your neighborhood, shithead. It's Minneapolis. He's an American. He can go where he wants. Yep. Now, these people, as the guy said, are violent, and the Somalis are the worst of the most violent when you catch the fraudsters, according to him. Oh, well, I didn't see anybody banned in the chat. Oh, no, Alan. I saw what you wrote. YouTube took it out. You used some sexually explicit language there. I saw it. You saw some sexually explicit language. I saw a message was deleted by YouTube, not by a moderator, by YouTube. Sexually explicit. Yep. You talked about sucking something, and that's yeah. I saw that. So this guy, this racist tubalard bigot, who's verbally assaulting Nick Shirley, his defense is you're sensationalizing. Sensationalizing what? He just came to a place. There's no business here. It's fraud. That's all. Simple as that. There's no sensationalism there. Statement of fact. And the guy starts going on to me, if a Somali gets injured, it's because of you. No, it's not. I've seen the comments of your channel. Nick Shirley doesn't write the comments on his channel. Other people do. He's simply exposing the fraud. And this guy should be taking note of how many people are unhappy with his presence there. Well, he never appeared again. What? Who never appeared again, back again, where again? What are you talking about, Alan? Who is he? Peter Talliard, good evening to you. Good morning, whichever the case may be. Good day. Oxpecker, that's what it is, an oxpecker. An oxpecker, that's what I was trying to think of earlier. There's just oxpeckers, man. Yep. Well, they need this. They need this, Kathy. You have to understand. They have no lives. This is what they live for. It's pretty sad and pathetic existence. This is what they have to do, is disrupt everyone else's enjoyable evening. It's what trolls do. That's what they live. You see the Sunnyside detective who slandered and lied, misstated facts, and just lied. I mean, that scourge of Sunnyside had the audacity to lie in her op-ed and claim that I was offered a visit to a farm in the Free State and I refused it. She's a fucking liar. I wasn't offered anything. Who the hell is she talking about? She also lied about what I said. And she talked about a monetized video. That was a short that I did when I refuted the bullshit that came on that program, monetized video. Now, I may have talked about it other times, but I made a video specifically about that. Let me find it. It was a short about, let me see. I don't even know if what I named it. Oh, regarding the video about Thea. That's what it was. November 26th. So she waits till January to write this bullshit, slanderous op-ed. So I'm going to play this video for you guys. This was on the top of my car at the Veterans Organization, responding to lies. And notice what I say here. Notice what I say here. No. Yeah, she's referring to the farm, but she made lies. She claimed things that weren't true. She said, I said this, that, and the other. It's lies. I was never invited to that guest farm. What bullshit is that? That I was contacted by somebody. That's bullshit. Somebody wrote me an email or sent me a WhatsApp that I've never read or seen. That doesn't mean I was contacted. That's bullshit. I don't even know that they wrote me something. So let's find that. Let me find it specifically what the lie was. So she said, the timing of the matter mattered more than it first appeared. The White House, the executive order was issued February. The order accused South Africa, yada, yada. 3 months later, May 12th, the day the first group without arriving in the U.S., the interview was uploaded. Correct. It's just one problem. The story wasn't true, at least not the way it was being told, and not according to people who lived there and tried. Well, she can make those claims. I can't answer them because I interviewed somebody, and that's what she said to me. So instead of just simply stating I interviewed her, she chooses to slander me, which is not a good move. They interact. What's this? 2 days after the interview was published, a neighboring cattle farmer contacted the YouTuber directly to challenge the claims. They interacted via WhatsApp, and according to their messages, the farmer wasn't denying rural crime or security, and his concerns weren't about the refugee program. His main concern was about the harm caused by portraying a peaceful community as violent and under constant threat. To correct the false narrative, he even offered Wyatt free accommodation to a neighboring farm to interact with the community. I'm sorry. Offer me free accommodation. What? Are you in Pennsylvania? Are you here? Was I in South Africa when this occurred? What a stupid ass comment. Do you see how dishonest this is? This is simply a lie. Now, I don't recall this conversation. If I talked to somebody, who knows? Maybe I did. But offering me a accommodation on a neighboring farm in the Free State? Hey, genius, I live in Pennsylvania, 6,000 miles away. It was clear from Wyatt's responses that he wouldn't let the truth get in the way of a good story. Really? Wouldn't let the truth get in the way of a good story. Some Yahoo purportedly contacts me. I don't know the provenance of this person. Makes claims and offers me a place to stay in the Free State 6,000 miles away. And Cockprot24 actually publishes this. And a popular monetized YouTube video. A popular monetized YouTube video. What does that have to do with anything? See, that's an attempt to diminish. Shitbird monetizes her channel, doesn't she? The YouTuber moved to informing the farmer of his own experience of visiting farms. So these scumbags at Cockprot24 call this Shitbird a workplace training developer and facilitator, a social justice advocate, and a content creator, not a convicted sex offender. Is that what she is? I don't know. It's what Ronaldo said. I don't know. But they don't mention that. They don't mention that. And call me a YouTuber. A YouTuber. Fuck you, useless piece of shit. Yeah. Moving to inform the farm. The YouTuber moved to informing the farmer of his own experience of visiting farms, being on community patrols, and speaking to farm attacks. Indeed, I did. If I had a conversation with somebody like that, I probably did. Expressed his confidence in the U.S. refugee vetting program process, declined the invitation to visit the farming community due to his time constraints. Was this when I was in South Africa? Somebody contacted me? I don't remember this. Okay, I'll have to say that maybe this happened. But Free State? I was never in the Free State in this last trip. And when I published Thea's video, I was in Somerset West on the other side of the country. How am I supposed to come to the Free State? Yeah, no, I'll admit maybe somebody did call me about this. I'm a vague recollection of this now. But I mean, it was ridiculous. So she writes about something happened a year ago. 8 months ago. Wyatt appeared in an interview on Biz News shortly after. During this interview, journalist Chris mentioned they received allegations that one of the refugees' claims may have been exaggerated. No, see, that's not shortly afterwards. That's months later. Months later. Do you see these lies? So, yes, this guy may have contacted me when I was in freaking Gordon's Bay. The video wasn't published till the 12th of May. I was in Gordon's Bay. driving past the petrol station, stopped at a robot when I got confirmation. Someone called me, I got confirmation, listening on my Bluetooth, that this, in fact, the flight had landed, the third confirmation. And that's when, shortly after that, I got to my accommodation, Gordons Bay, that evening of the 12th of May. And I left South Africa a couple of days later. A couple of days later, I left South Africa. And then that was in May. This interview with Chris Sten, they're talking about, they're saying that there were no allegations against her until months later, when this shitbird published a false story, to which I responded. During the interview, journalist Sten calls Chris Sten a journalist. You shitbird, I'm a journalist. Mentioned they received allegations that one of the refugees' claims may have been exaggerated. Business did not mention allegations came from a neighboring farmer. Well, then how am I supposed to know that? Once again, Wyatt maintained his position, simply stating that if there were false claims, the refugee was prone to exaggeration, they shouldn't be harmful to the community. Why exactly? I remember saying that on business. How does that harm a farming community? If she exaggerated claims for asylum or not for refugee status, how does that affect the farming community? Are you that fragile? He again pointed to the effectiveness of the U.S. vetting process, which she puts in quotes. Well, I can't point to the effectiveness of the U.S. vetting process because as a counterintelligence agent, I've done these investigations. Another disclosure not included in this story. Refugee in question was already in the U.S. and would face consequences of their fraud. Exactly. And investigations on refugees continue after they're here. Just ask the 230,000 who came during the Biden administration whose cases have been reopened. Despite interacting directly with the farmer, there was no pushback from journalists on the issue. Not satisfied with how the farming community had been portrayed, another neighboring farmer made additional efforts to set the record straight. She wrote to several media platforms, including Biz News, Cliff Central, Morning Shot. In her correspondence, her concerns mirrored those of her neighbor. The main objection was the way the community, including long-standing residents and workers, were being depicted as hostile and threatening. By whom? By whom? I didn't say that about these people. So there's another lie. According to the farmer, none of these outlets bothered to acknowledge her communication or sought further clarification. So your beef is with Biz News, Cliff Central, and Morning Shot, not with me. Those are media platforms, but I'm a YouTuber. Seriously? I've been around decades before Morning Shot. Give me a break. In November, I conducted a telephonic interview with her husband on my YouTube channel. When asked about the 4 farm attacks and years on his farm, he disputed the claims. Wyatt challenged the interview, questioning the husband's credibility, pointing to allegations of stalking, suggesting the guest farm was not operational. Once again, sidestepping the farm attack claims that were disputed. That wasn't relevant. That wasn't relevant. That wasn't what she's lying, creating a narrative here. That wasn't what your video was about. It wasn't about farm attacks. Your video was slander against Thea von Staden from an unknown person who made a telephonic voice call. You didn't put the person on camera. And the person made claims which were fallacious. They were wrong. They were factually incorrect. And that's what I addressed. And watch my video in response to it. Then she creates AI screen of me. Look at that, an AI screen. As someone who's tired of South Africa being used as political prop, turned into cautionary tale, especially in right-wing circles, well, the 3 platforms that you call media outlets are all right-wing, as you call them. I'm not right-wing. I booked a combination guest farm for my family and me. It's myself. Let me help you with your English there. I realize it's probably your second language there. The guest farm was fully operational. We weren't the only guests. While there from the 27th, 29th December, I had an on-camera interview with Thea von Staten's husband. I also met with community members and neighboring farmers who tried to correct the narrative. What struck me most wasn't just the claims were disputed, it's how consistently the people closest to the facts were sidelined. Neighbors spoke up early. They did it directly. They even offered access, context, and accommodation. See, that's bullshit. How the fuck am I supposed to stay on a farm in the Free State when I'm in the Western Cape leaving in 48 hours? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I haven't been back to South Africa since. They weren't trying to shut down a refugee program, pretend crime doesn't exist in South Africa. They were trying to stop a community from being flattened in the headline. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody even knows where the community is. I never mentioned the farm. I never mentioned the farm. These people doxed themselves. She doxed them. I never mentioned the farm. I never gave the name of the farm. I never said the town it was in. This is bullshit. This is a lying sack of shit. I never once said where the farm was. I never once said anything. These are people who are just pure liars. None of it mattered. Once the story took off, no longer belonged to the people. It was about the real place, the relationships. What real place? There was no real place meant, you lying sack of horse manure. It's not about arguing that South Africa is crime-free or fear. This is, when claims are repeated often enough, they're hardened. Yes, like you, lying here. Here is my response to her November bullshit. Here you go. This is what a 5-minute video. Let's just listen to this. Hey folks, good evening. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. Apologize for being on the road doing this on my mobile, but it's necessary to do this video because we need to talk about something. A couple videos have been posted over the past couple days in South Africa. Yesterday, one offering an opinion about Thea van Straten and claiming that she wasn't a legitimate refugee, and I can't attest to whether she's a legitimate refugee or not. I didn't do the background investigations. I don't work for the U.S. government, and I don't do the vetting for USCIS. I can trust that they've done it properly, unlike the Biden regime, which just let anybody and their brother come over without any vetting. So I can trust that that's the case. But in the case of Thea van Straten, today was the second interview, and this one can't be ignored. She interviewed a gentleman by phone who purported to be the husband of Thea van Straten. I don't know if he's a husband, ex-husband, partner, whatever the guy is. I really don't know. And right there, I don't know who he is because I haven't talked to the guy and I haven't seen him, so I don't know, and she didn't show him. I'm not here to disparage him, but I am here to talk about facts. I also said I'm not there to disparage him, and I don't disparage him. I can tell you for a fact that there's some parts of this story that don't make sense and really need to be looked at a little closer based on the claims. So I'm not claiming that there's anything incorrect here. I'm saying it doesn't pass muster and it needs to be examined closer. So I asked for people to look at this story closer. That's what I asked for. Gentleman's making. First, the gentleman claimed that he did not know that she had left the country until after she got to the States or she was gone. Well, in fact... Well, here are facts, and these are facts provable through the U.S. government. That's an outright lie because the person who was her partner or husband or whatever the person was, that person actually followed her to Kempton Park, to the airport, and then tried to get in the hotel. Several security agents had to get involved. All the 59ers were briefed about that threat and other threats that were made to them and to her specifically in that case. So on that matter, I not only spoke to Thea van Straten, I spoke to several of the 59ers who independently in different parts of America confirmed what I said there. Actually spoke to other sources. And so the person who purports to be her spouse or her partner actually knew that she was leaving because that person followed her to the airport, to the hotel. And then that person tried to cause chaos at the airport. So if in fact this person is her partner or husband, that's a lie. He clearly knew that she was going to the States before she left for the States because he stalked her, whoever this person was. I don't know the person, I don't know the name, and I'm not really here to tell you that. I'm just here to tell you that the person that was her partner or spouse stalked her to the airport and then caused chaos with security at the hotel near the airport and got a lot of people very excited about what's happening. That's the first problem. The second problem is the gentleman claims that the farm is still in operation. Well, I know what farm it is, and I was aware of it before the refugee program ever even began. And I can tell you this much. The domain for that farm doesn't exist. It existed in April. It existed in the beginning of May, but it's gone. You don't find it because the domain is no longer paid for because there's no longer an operational farm, working historical farm there. So if you go searching for that farm today, you won't find a website. Now you will find a Facebook page, but interestingly enough, of course, Facebook is free. A lot of businesses use Facebook because it's free, but that Facebook site was last updated on April 4th. Also, I can tell you that that the agents that were familiar with her case actually spoke to a few of the 59ers and explained to them what was going on about that farm that had not been in operation. So not only did I have sourcing about the farm from a cursory search of the internet to find that there was no domain that had been canceled, that it was no longer being paid for, which doesn't mean there isn't a farm in operation, just very stupid for a business that has overnight stays not to have a place for people to go book. And not only is it listed on a few of the major sites, which they claim, oh, see, look, it's there, like on booking.com, but you can't book. You can't book. And not only that, but it had a Facebook page, still has a Facebook page, but the last entry update had been from April. How do you go through the entire winter and then into summer and not have a single booking into place and nobody posting photographs? If you follow the history of that Facebook page, before that, there's postings every week, going back for a few years, every week. And then suddenly, April 11th, whatever date it was, that was the last posting. That was done by Thea. And nobody had updated the Facebook site since then. So let's allow for the fact that the gentleman just is too lazy and doesn't update the Facebook page and let the domain expire. So he has no internet presence. Her defense was, well, they're on booking.com or some nonsense like that. That doesn't mean anything. The Wartburg is still on Expedia, but go try to book a room there. You can't because it doesn't exist outside of Peter Maritzburg, a hotel I used to love to stay at. When I tried to come back in 2022, it didn't exist. They're trying to bring it back now, but it wasn't there. So that doesn't mean anything. So I'm not saying it didn't exist. I'm saying the evidence doesn't indicate that it exists. But then U.S. security officers briefed these people and talked to them about that farm, what's going on. They said it was derelict. They had been there. So, I'll take U.S. security over this Sunnyside prowler. For some time. So I don't know who the gentleman is. I haven't been to the farm. I can just relate to you reliably from reliable sources what actually happened. So I can state for a fact that two of the claims that were spoken by whomever the gentleman is in the video, and I don't know who he is. I'm not trying to throw shade at him if he's really the partner. But if that's the partner, then he wasn't telling the truth. If he's not the partner, that would explain why he doesn't know that the partner stalked her to the airport hotel and then caused chaos with security at the airport hotel. Okay, so I didn't see the interview, and I don't watch that idiotic channel. So Krista said in his second interview, he admitted to being at the hotel. When the first interview, and that's the reason I did this, he claimed that he didn't know that she had gone until he saw on the news that she arrived in America. Clearly, the guy's lying. And there are witnesses, many witnesses to this. So there's a problem with people lying. The second one is that if that farm is in existence, and it's plausible that it is in existence, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is that its website for people to book doesn't work. It doesn't exist. The domain is gone. I'm also telling you that the Facebook page was last updated on April 4th. So if you're a guest house or a hotel, don't you want to keep your social media presence current? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November? 7, 8 months later, you don't have a social media presence and you're in business to make money by having guests come there? Something fishy going on here. And that's where I'll leave it. No allegations or anything else other than that there's a fishy story here. Now, I'm sure I'll be attacked for reporting facts, but I'm reporting facts, not opinion. Facts have been corroborated. Facts have been run down with multiple sources. So if people want to attack me for that, that's their shortcomings and their moral failings, not mine. But there's the story from what I know. Now, as far as the interview, I had a number of refugees freaking out, calling me, oh my gosh, she's a fake refugee. Now we're not going to get to go. If a refugee commits... Oh, see, that's a good point, too. She first claimed that Thea didn't even own a farm. Remember that? Now she's saying in the op-ed that there's a farm. You see this? She claimed there was no farm. Now she claims there's a farm. I forgot about that. That's a good point. Yeah. Yep. But of course they're meant to detract from the truth. But this is not going to be tolerated. Fraud. And I'm not aware of any fraud being committed here. But if a refugee commits fraud, that's a person that can be sent back. That's why your refugee status is provisional. It gets revoked for two reasons. Either the underlying conditions that granted it to you, like the end of a conflict or the end of 145 race-based laws, or you commit fraud. And right now, the Trump administration is going to look at 233,000 refugee cases, every single one that came in under the 4 years of Joseph Biden. Why? Because of perceptions or evidence of pervasive fraud committed either by the refugees who came here or more likely by the Biden regime in letting them in the country. Anyway, so there you have it, folks. There's some facts. I'm sure that I'll get grilled by haters, but I'm all about telling the truth, and that's the truth. As far as me interviewing her, she was what she purported to be, one of the first refugees to go over. She told her story. It's her story, not mine, and I interviewed her. You can choose to believe what you want to believe. I can't make people believe anything. All I can do is present the facts and give you accurate, cogent, insightful, lucid analysis, which I do every day. Cheers. Yep, that's exactly right. So in an effort to, this is disgraceful that a reputable publication, whatever, I'm going to look up the press, ombudsman in South Africa. South Africa Press Council. South Africa Press Code. Press Code of South Africa. Reports must be truthful, context protected, investigation, independence, corrections. Yeah, I don't think it applies to op-eds. Here's the press code. Code of ethics. There it is. Can I download it? No, I can only save an image. So you can only go online to get it? I'll download it in English. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Press code. User-generated contents and activities. Not much there. I don't think Ronaldo's wrong. I don't think I have a case for the paper. No, this just talks about, it doesn't talk about op-eds. Again, I think they're protected by op-eds. I think Ronaldo is wrong. Don't think they're, there's a basis here. When are they bringing in martial law? Yeah, that's a good question. Do we know the husband is one of those? I have no idea. Good morning, Alan McGonigal. Well, I don't know about those two having a fling, but yes, your speculation could be true. Yeah, so, I mean, there's more to the story which I can't share for legal reasons, okay? So I'll just leave it at that. Why does she keep on using your content if the husband lied? Because liars continue to lie on top of a lie. And she forgot already that when she called Thea the liar, first attacked Thea saying she wasn't on a farm. Now she's come back saying it's on a farm. Then she talks to some guy who purports to be her husband. I don't deny it's her husband or partner. I never denied that. I don't know who the guy is. I never met him. I don't know what he looks like. So maybe he is. But I can tell you that the person that said that in that interview, in that call, was a liar. Based on multiple independent sources. He's a liar. That's a fact. And then this intentional effort to diminish who I am, a YouTuber, but she calls Morning Shot and Cliff Central and the others media outlets. I'm not a media outlet. Do more media than any of those places. Give me a break. This character says trying to discredit your character. That cobweb at the scene was fun. Peter Krill and Dan Cordier. You can make money. Yep. Yep. That's why she's probably going to regret her actions. Her previous videos are actionable and have been downloaded and are available to attorneys who are willing to do the work pro bono. I just haven't pursued it. What about Windows 11? I don't have Windows 11. Oh, you're trying to Windows 11. Yeah. Kathy says, people are still listening to TV news and believe that farmers and Afrikaners are invited to apply for refugee status. Well, they are, and so are a whole bunch of other people. And as Charles said, anyone could have made that call. We don't know the provenance of that guy. She never vetted her sources. Take it like a man. Yeah, quids. I have no idea. And I don't really care about the farm attacks. It isn't germane. It's never an issue for me. See, this is character assassination on Thea because I did a video. And then she came after me because I point out her lies. And the contradictions in the story that she was putting onto her YouTube account. Yep. That's why she came after me. She also came after me because I'm sure she got her marching orders from the scumbags who are terrified that I'm having an impact. You know. Good evening, Art Queen. So her husband's not aware of Thea leaving and that she doesn't even own a farm. Yeah. And then he said the same thing. I didn't know she was gone until I saw her on the news landing in America. That's a lie. He later, as someone said in the second interview, he said he was at the hotel. And this is ridiculous. And again, where did I say anything about the farming community? There's not one mention of the farming community there. Never said it. She never said where she was from. Never said it. Never said it. So the only people who could be harmed by this is who? Nobody knows where the farm is at. Nobody knows where this guest is out. Nobody's been there. I didn't disclose that. I have the screenshots. I never disclosed that. Never disclosed it. Yeah, she got a Pinocchio syndrome. I had a farm, but I did not inhale the horse poo. I never had a relation to that mushroom farm. That's pretty good. Good evening, Natalie. What's up? Well, you're not going to hear from Thea right now, Karen. It's impossible. She cannot come on right now, and you can just take a guess why. Yep. These things will play out. These things will play out. Yep, Francois says, never been so ashamed of those who represent me in my country. Well, with good reason. You have a right to be ashamed. This is the tactic of, and almost all these people who have attacked me have been women, leftist women, almost every one of them. The Newsroom Africa journalist who lied about what I said. I mean, that one really took the cake. When Amanda Rose came on from Stellenbosch and lied about the refugee program, and I corrected that in a video, the next week, Newsroom Africa lied about what I said. They said that I refuted her claims about expropriation on compensation. I didn't talk about that. I never talked about her and expropriation compensation. I talked about her lying about the refugee program. That's what I talked about. Or not, I'm sorry, no, that wasn't, it was about sanctions. She falsely claimed the United States to put sanctions on South Africa, and I said, that's not true. Amanda Ghoes, a professor at Stellenbosch University, said that the United States had put sanctions on South Africa. It's total bullshit. Just propaganda. So I made a video that said that's simply factually untrue. There are no sanctions in South Africa. That's a lie. It's untrue. It's demonstrably untrue and provable. That many sanctions in South Africa since the apartheid era. Total bullshit. The next week, Newsroom Africa did an interview with someone else. Last week, YouTube personality Chris Wyatt falsely claimed that Amanda Ghoes when talking about expropriation compensation. We're not talking about expropriation compensation. We're talking about sanctions. They just blatantly lied. Well, because she's an asswipe. That's why, Cheryl. This is what asswipes do. They slander other people. They attack people. Your first coffee of the day. Okay, well, that's cool. According to the husband's first email, he said she left the Friday. He only saw her on TV Monday. Did he report his wife missing? Yeah, in South Africa, you'd think that someone might contact the police about that. Some people should get another job that doesn't require brain power. Exactly. Exactly. There's still no sanctions in South Africa. Yeah, well, okay, first off, when I did that, there were no reciprocal tariffs either. There were no reciprocal tariffs. So that wasn't even an argument. Her argument was sanctions because we stopped giving free money to South Africa. That was a long time ago with Amanda Ghoes. And the only reason I remember her name is because of Ronaldo's last name. Yeah, I did break the story. I broke a lot of stories. Woke wenches who never bought them drinks during the Army service. You went to Stelli's? I didn't know that. I've got my Mati's hoodie. I went there for the Varsity Cup final and they lost. Oof. That was brutal. That was brutal. Your husband and her daughter pulled from the program because work got wind of him doing it through a security check. That doesn't make any sense, Quids. Please explain that more clearly. See, the way you wrote that, and I'm not saying that's what you meant to say, but the way you wrote that is that your daughter and son-in-law were removed from the program because her employer or the employer found out they were in it from CWS. That doesn't pass. That doesn't make any sense. Please explain that better because that's just nonsense. How would they be pulled from the program by an employer? That doesn't make any sense. Only the U.S. government can remove them from the program. They can't be removed by the program by CWS. It can't be removed from the program by some South African employer. That doesn't make any sense. I don't think that's what you meant to write, Quids. Please clarify that. Thanks for explaining you do to make it easy for us to understand. Now I look at the clock. First time I know what time is U.S. Yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock at night. At this point, I wish hundreds of thousands of minorities can get out so these insane people completely lose it and start screeching like the Minnesota Karens. No, USA was stopped and $435 million of financial assistance to South Africa because of expropriation without compensation. Remember, Cyril Ramaphosa, with big fanfare, signed that. Remember that? He signed. Oh, I still got a pen in my pocket. I went to sign a check today at the Veterans Organization to reimburse somebody and sign a voucher. It's still in my pocket. He went and signed the expropriation bill without compensation in Davos. Just a couple weeks after that, Trump had enough. That's when he stopped the aid because they violated the Constitution. Thank you, Quids. That's what I'm saying. It did make sense. They only left because he was threatened by an employer. This job was a risk. Now he already had an HR meeting yesterday. He works for the bank. Well, I would leave you at this, Quids. So why did they pull out of the program? Do they think they're going to be long with that company? Just a matter of time before they get fired. They will regret their decision, but that's on them. They will regret their decision. And I don't understand how CWS informed their employer. That doesn't make any sense. First off, CWS doesn't do investigations. So are you telling that the Church World Services contacted their employer in South Africa? That's a stretch. Why in the world would Church World Services in the United States contact an employer in South Africa? They don't do background checks. They don't do background checks. USCIS does that, and they don't make mistakes like that. After 10,000 people screened probably at this point, this would be the first time we heard that someone doxed a refugee to their employer from the U.S. government. I'm not buying that. Something's not right here. Somebody's telling you bullshit. Yes, also insinuating the U.S., puts in quotes about the vetting. The vetting is good. What are you sorry for, Xavier? You played rugby for Matis. Wow. Are you serious, Mark? That's awesome, man. How cool is that? So you got to meet Danny Craven. Wow, that is so cool. I'm envious. Okay, well, Church World Services doesn't do a check on his background. So that's bullshit. First off, let's not malign Church. Look, Church World Services needs to be maligned for its lies about the refugee program and its whining about not getting lots of money from Trump anymore. So they need to be exposed for that. But you can't expose them for this. They don't do background checks. That doesn't make any sense at all. I think your son-in-law is bullshitting you. Right. Church World Service gathers information, validates, but they would never dox a potential refugee because they would lose their contract. They would be subject to sanctions. This isn't South Africa. You can't just do shit and get away with it. In America, there are consequences. And you have a contract with the federal government, you violate the contract, you're in trouble. CWS is an American company. An American company, not a Kenyan company. They're an American company. If they violate U.S. law, they go to jail. Yeah, well, Quids, I think you're right. I think your son-in-law is bullshitting you. They're giving you an excuse why they left the program. I don't buy it. I'm not calling him a liar, but I think there's some bullshit going on here. How could this be the first time of the thousands of people that have been interviewed who've had background checks that someone comes in and says, oh, we left because we were doxxed at work because Church World Service revealed our information? No. In every case I've come across where somebody was doxxed, it was a family member who did it to them. A family member. 8 months ago, I had a person contact me who was heartbroken because her husband lost his job because his sister narked on him. They were dumb enough to tell the family members that they were doing this. I don't even know if they got to America yet. Yeah, probably some with their work. Right, and I think Vimpy Cohn might be onto something because they used that company background checks. He might have thought he was leaving for another job and talked to him. Yeah, that's insightful, Vimpy. You might be right. We don't know. I'm not accusing him of anything, but that makes sense. Well, Charles, that's another thing. Someone is making excuses for leaving the program. They may have failed to disclose pertinent information, now covering up. We're getting a lot of that too. Again, I have yet to see a single letter that you've been denied. A verbal telephone call is not the basis for denial. Not. I've had people tell me they've been called by USCIS and told you're out. But I'm not buying that story. I'm not accusing people lying to me, but I'm saying something doesn't make sense there. Also, someone told me that RSC told them they were denied. No. Exactly. Other companies don't find out. But yeah, I agree with you, Alan. It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. Exactly. We haven't seen one single denial letter. Doesn't mean people haven't denied. I'm just saying no one's come forward with a letter. No one's come forward. And that's why I did the video recently, and that's why Professor G backed it up with his own video about this. There is an RFR process for this, but you can only do a request for review if you've been denied. You can only be doing an RFR if you know the basis for it. How can you do an RFR, which every refugee is allowed to do? Everyone denied is allowed to do an RFR. It's not a right, but you're permitted to do it. But you can't do it within 90 days. There wouldn't be a 90-day window if you weren't allowed to do it. You have 90 days from the time that you receive your letter telling you you're denied to submit an RFO, request for review, which goes back to the person that denied you, so good luck with that. But if you have pertinent information that wasn't available or information they have is incorrect, you can correct the record and they can reconsider. That's it. Request for reconsideration. But you can't do that without the information. And if you don't have a letter, how can you say? The person who told me that they were denied by CWS, which doesn't make any sense, said that I said, why? And he said, well, they didn't tell me. Well, that's bullshit. That's nonsense. UK immigration canceled my wife's work visa. She had explained to her company. She had explained to the company in the UK you're talking about, right? Coached by Doc Craven, Davy Snayman, Buck coach Nellie Smith, and Buck center John Filet. Wow, just finished with the Green Berets and it was very fit and fast. You were a lock and flank. That's awesome. So happy my eyes have opened to corruption and lies. I feel sorry for people that fall into that mainstream trap. Thank you for your no bullshit approach. Thank you, Sven. Appreciate that. Spread the word. Francois, through all the crap you go through to give us true news and for the patients, all the impatient refugees, you're a legend. We appreciate it. Well, thank you, Francois Fenta. All you got to say is what Kurt Darren said. Yay, is a legend. Thank you, making the clouds. We haven't had many clouds in January. It's a cloudy, it's a sunny sky here. There's no clouds here gathering, so we're not getting much in the way of super chats in January. Although I did get a nice big, not a huge, but a big super chat. I don't know if the person wants me to disclose it. Sent them a thank you note in PayPal. That was nice. Thank you very much for that. Exactly. USCIS, the only people who can deny entry into the refugee program. Exactly. My employer also threatened me with my job as I had to tell them where I'm going as I never took leave. Even hired an investigator to find out if the program is real. Are you serious? What kind of morons you work for? Tell them to watch my content if the program is real. Oh my gosh, Cindy. That's some stupid people. That shows you how pervasive the lies are in South Africa. That just shows you how pervasive and how big of suckers many South Africans are that they think that this program isn't real. Wow. Yeah. Well, first off, Charles, CWS only gathers the pertinent information. They don't do the background checks. They're not the ones doing this stuff that delves into your background. That is done by USCIS. CWS checks your phone number. They check your address. They check your name. They check to see that you're real. Then they call you to confirm that you're real. That's it. Then they book your appointments and they screw that up. They put you in Cape Town today, tomorrow in Joburg. That doesn't make sense. Then they set up your medicals a week later until you come back to Joburg. Then they book your flight when you're done. All the stuff in between isn't CWS or RSC. It's USCIS and Homeland Security. Second interview, tentative appointment that fell through. Did not get confirmation. Yeah, Linziki, I know. I'm on top of that. I'm on like white on rice. I don't know what's going on here. I think there's some really major screw-ups. A lot of people that happened to this week. They were never given a location. They were told they had an appointment and it never followed through. Yeah. I'm done discussing this. Just want out now. You want out what, Quids? Out of the refugee program? That's your choice. That's your choice. My plane safety belt fits me on the way to Dallas. Buffalo Billy, a lot of coaches with agendas, but the Viceroy stand. Yep. You're all dependent on him. Well, that sucks, Quids. That sucks. Exactly. MIA is subject to the Poppy Act. There would be a criminal violation if they shared that information. Yep. Devin Haverkamp, you're very welcome. Oh, you've been in the USA for 3.5 months. Okay, so half a month, January. So September, October, November. So you came in October? That doesn't make sense. Oh, I got you, Quids. I'm 100% with you. Hang in there. Stay strong. Stay strong. Yeah, look, I don't know what's going on with them. That's unfortunate for your daughter. They'll regret that decision. They will seriously regret it. I mean, do they not watch the interviews? I mean, do they not, the end of September? Okay, that's a little bit more. That makes more sense, Devin Haverkamp. Well, why have you come on done an interview, man? Actually, so today, yeah, well, then you can sue them for that. So today, I got a frantic message from a lady who sent me a message yesterday and said her daughter and son-in-law are in deep trouble, deep trouble. I'm not making fun of the lady. I'm not attacking the lady. I'm just telling you this is the sort of stuff I get. So I looked at them. Okay, so she sent me their number. I called them this afternoon. I spoke to the gentleman. I was mistaken because I was looking at another case where somebody sent me a number, but it wasn't valid. And I looked in this and I pushed it. So I thought I was speaking to someone else. I thought I was speaking to someone named Malcolm, and it wasn't Malcolm. It was someone else. So he apologized and said, yeah, no, we're here. We're refugees. I said, oh, okay. I said, listen, I spoke to your mother-in-law, I guess it is, and she's frantic and said that you guys are in a lot of trouble. You're getting treated poorly. And I'm hearing this from a number of cases, so I'm taking it seriously. And he said, no, it's all sorted. So what do you mean? So I asked him, I said, well, one of the issues she said is that her grandkids were forced to go to an Arabic school. I mean, something like that, where they don't speak English. So I looked into it. They're in Michigan, and that's a possibility, a bunch of Arabs around them. So I talked to the son-in-law, and I said, are you okay? He said, yeah, we're okay. It was a little tough to get started, but we've been here for a month now or something like that, and we're okay. I said, okay. Do you have a Social Security number? Yes. Got that last Friday. Do you have an EAD? Yes, got that. Did the refugee assistance officer help you get the EAD? Yes. Did they pick you up at the airport? Yes. Did they put you in temporary housing? Yes. Did they put you in a permanent place? Yes. Did they help enroll your kids in school? Yes. But we weren't happy with the school, and we discovered that we can move our child to another school. I said, okay, so you're good to go there. So all calm down. People in South Africa don't know what the hell they're doing. They hear what they want to hear. And I don't know if the wife was distraught and maybe that was the problem and she called her mother and freaked her mother out. But I talked to the husband who's quite calm and quite rational, and they're okay. And a similar situation in Nevada where someone freaked out. And I asked them the same thing. I said, do you have a Social Security number? Yes. Do you have an EAD? Yes. Did you get picked up at the airport? Yes. Did they take you to a place? Yes. Did you, and all the answers are yes. But the person had a toothache and they didn't show up on a Sunday to take them there. But that's not their job. That's not their job. I think people, I don't understand what these expectations are. Refugee assistance officers aren't your slaves. They aren't your manservants. They aren't there to coddle you. They do have a responsibility, and some of them are not following through on it, and we're exposing them. But they're not there to hold your hand. They're not there to hold your hand. But if I were your refugee assistance officer, and I say that because I've sponsored people who've come to embassies overseas, and they fish out of water in a foreign land. They need help. I sponsored service members overseas to get them established, even though we have a much bigger support structure for military. But it's still lots of things you have to overcome. You don't have the language. In this case, you do have the language. You don't know the laws. You don't know the rules. You need someone to show where the shopping areas are, how to go to a clinic, how do you get there, how it's paid for, what's done. All of that. So they're there to do a job that they're paid for. And that job is not holding your hand. Well, Karen, you're not the first one. Billions of people have migrated throughout their lives and moved somewhere else with nothing and started over. Well, Angelique, some people are acting, so I mean, I got this frantic message from someone. This isn't what we were promised. This isn't what we're promised. Excuse me? What were you promised? What were you promised? You weren't promised that. You weren't even promised refugee status. There's no promise. There's an offer here to come to America as a refugee under a generous program that you pay nothing for. You don't pay for the interviews. You don't pay for the medical. You don't pay for the flight. You do eventually. You pay it back, but you get it free. You don't have to pay it up front. You don't pay for the refugee assistance officer. I, the taxpayer, pay for that. What were you promised? Who promised anybody anything in this program? I didn't. I warned people from the outset in February. This will break families up. This will break families up. This will cause stress and fracture families. I warned people that. I also said that your offspring or their kids won't be Afrikaners anymore. They'll be Americans. And if that's important to you, that's a consideration. I also said that from the outset, no matter how many people come over, Afrikaners will still be in South Africa. They're part of Africa. They're not going anywhere. 1 million Afrikaners come over here, and there'll still be 1.8 million Afrikaners in South Africa, plus 80,000 in Namibia, and 20,000 in Botswana, and 10,000 in Zimbabwe. They'll still be there. They'll still exist in Africa. I said all these things, but people are selective. They hear what they want to hear. And Max says, the U.S. refugee program guys have been decent and professional, every one of them that I met, and look how we react. It's disgusting. It is. It is. Brandon got a job at Heathrow at 22 with nowhere to sleep, no job, and learned fast to make a plan. Most people have never traveled overseas or had to figure things out in another country without refugee assistance officers, without free flights. Kasigi, did you get a free flight to the UK when you went there at 22? I bet you didn't. Going to be interviewed on 702 today, probably because of News 24. Blue Flame says, people should stop complaining, sir. My mom is in a wheelchair. She had to go to Pretoria for first interview, the second in Cape Town Medicals. They wanted Pretoria, which I was lucky to change. I'm glad you got to change. We're promised an opportunity to start a new life free from our current situation. Well, you're right, an opportunity. You hit it on the spot, Ronell. You're promised opportunity. It's not complaining, waiting patiently for the next step. There you go. Well, Kathy, when family love each other unconditionally. No, I'm not surprised. And if somebody can record that interview on 702 and save it for me, so that if there's any slander or character defamation in there, we have that for the lawsuit. Okay? If you don't mind, if somebody can record that interview on 702. Appreciate it. See, this is her ticket to fame. She's a nobody who's accomplished nothing in her life, and this is her ticket to fame, riding the leftist lie train. It didn't work when they destroyed Amy Justine LaRue, so she's desperate for something. This is what this is. Hey, Loretta. Long time. You got a castle. Thank you for being a member. Continue until the end of Trump. Well, why wouldn't it, Sarl? Do you think I'm Senior von Rendsburg? Yes. Why wouldn't it continue? The underlying conditions aren't changing. 145 race-based laws have not been eliminated in South Africa. Therefore, there's no reason to stop the program. Well, yes, Skulk. I also said it was going to end badly for South Africa. I did from the very beginning. This drain of human capital is bad. Remember, they insulted refugees. They're all just a bunch of car guards. Remember that? Fikele Babalula, a bunch of car guards went to America. Remember that? Car guards making six-figure dollar salaries. Yeah, there's some very good paying car guard jobs here. Raymond Horn, thank you for your subscription. Natasha Posthumous, what's going on there, man? Oh, President Trump signed that executive order. That was months ago. Hisiki can't wait. I love a good challenge. People need to remember everything is an opportunity. It's how you look at it, exactly. It's exactly right. It's how you look at it. Yep. From the Meadow, the short answer to that question is it depends. It depends what the reason was. I would say that if you're from South Africa now and you're getting denied refugee status, then there's probably derogatory information that would prevent you from getting a visa in the first place. So, yeah, but I would think that's the case, yeah. Yeah. But not being denied refugee status isn't an automatic block to come to the U.S., but it takes something serious to keep you from becoming a refugee, particularly in these circumstances. So, I mean, all things being equal, I would think that probably would play out that way, yes. Does that help you from the meadow? Nikki says South Africans are overall hard workers. Lawrence Duplessis, what's up, man? Yep. Yeah, anyway. So, Iran. Well, we didn't attack Iran tonight. Exactly. If you don't want to go, don't apply. Well, Mark Feldman, just for giggles and grins, I suggested that AFRICOM get a frigate or two, or cruiser or something from the 7th Fleet in the Mediterranean, and get them from Navy Europe, assign him on temporary status to NAVAF, Navy Africa, sail them down the west coast of Africa, and hang out just off the Cape of Good Hope outside False Bay. Just be cruising by. Hey, guys, how you doing? And watch the Iranians wet their pants in their rust bucket, and the Russians freak out. You watch. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be so awesome? Wouldn't that be so awesome? Oh, my goodness. You don't need a carrier, just a couple ships. It doesn't take much. U.S. 7th Fleet. Oh, that's in Japan. I'm thinking the 5th Fleet then. It's the 5th Fleet. I said 7th. I meant the 5th. I think it's the 5th. Which one is in the Med? Is it 6th Fleet? It's the 6th Fleet. Yeah, sorry, 6th Fleet. I said 7th. 6th Fleet. Yep. So Navy maintains significant presence in Mediterranean, primarily through destroyers, forward deployed at Rota, occasional carrier strike group deployments like the Arleigh Burke, the Thomas Hudner, and the Sullivans. Yeah, but we've got destroyers that are there. So, yeah, the 6th Fleet. Let me go to their website. Here's the 6th Fleet. U.S. Navy Forces, Europe and Africa, 6th Fleet. Send them. Send them. Here are the task forces. Look at all these task forces. The Mount Whitney. The Arleigh Burke. It's a destroyer. Send that. Let the rust bucket from Iran's Revolutionary Guard see this. Arleigh Burke is the lead ship in the Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer. She was named after Admiral Arleigh Burke, who died in 1996 at the age of 95, who distinguished himself during World War II of the Korean War, served as Chief of Naval Operations in Eisenhower and Kennedy administrations. The Arleigh Burke's keel was laid at Bath Iron Works, Maine in 1988. The ship was launched by the Admiral's wife in 1989, just a year later. In April 2021, after residing in Norfolk, Virginia for 30 years, the Arleigh Burke shifted home ports to Rota, Spain, joining the 6th Fleet's Destroyer Squadron 60. Yep. Yep. Send the Arleigh Burke and send another destroyer with her. Yeah. Hey, Rohan. How's it going, man? From the meadow, I answered your question. You didn't come back with a response. Oh, Sally says, I asked before, will they disclose your... No, it's illegal. It's illegal. No, they won't. And they're not the ones, you know, you guys keep talking about MIE, but anyway, there's a lot more to this than you realize. Yeah, no, not going to happen. Sorry, subscribers couldn't go off yesterday. Had no money. Well, it's okay, Loretta. No worries. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Kasigi's correct. Love your top. It's the color is Northwest University. It's close. Northwest University is a deeper purple. This is a plum color. But yeah, you're close. Sounds like a great plan. Sixth Fleet is to successful extraction. My wife and I are salty ski boat dogs. Yes, the Employment Equity Act. Is it today? I thought it was the 16th or something like that. Anyway, it's almost today's formally written around Lamola demanding a report. Yeah, no, Mad Max. I covered that yesterday. I made a video about it. So, anyway, yeah. Yep. So, all the South African politicians are all excited about AGOA, but there's no reason to be excited about AGOA because it doesn't apply to South Africa. Okay, whatever, maroon. This isn't maroon, it's plum. You went to Northwest? It's more purple. Northwest is purple. It's purple, man. Where do you get maroon from? No, it's purple. Here, look. Here's Northwest Wildcats football, Big Ten. Right there. There they are. That's their color right there. Northwestern. Right there. Northwestern. Purple. I said it was purple. Right there. Purple. That is not maroon. That is purple. Oh, come on. What's with this damn thing? Wrigley Field. There you go. That's purple. That is not maroon. Working 3 jobs, hardly make ends meet while worrying about our safety. Imagine my husband getting her properly. Well, we had, what's his name was on here the other day. The guy interviewed, he just got a job making 4 times what he made in South Africa. Starting out. I don't know. Oh, well, Kasigi, Northwestern is who we're talking about. I thought you said Northwestern. Maybe I misunderstood you. Oh, you talking about somewhere in South Africa? South Africa does not have a Navy, Colonel. Most of the sailors can't swim. Thank you to that, Martins. Yeah, I got you. Please, may I ask for assistance here? Not for me, through somebody else. Renee, what is your question? It is the Night Owls. I'll answer your question as best I can. What is your question? Grape, purple, yep. Oh, you caught up. What you could do, you can speed it up too. Whale pots in South African Navy. Renee Talley, what's your question? Yeah, okay, you must have been talking about some other place. Are you talking about Northwest Province? Is that where you're talking about, Northwest Province? Maybe that's what she was talking about. Oh, good, they shot an illegal alien from Venezuela. Not good that they shot him, but he's an illegal alien, so I'm glad it wasn't somebody who wasn't an illegal alien. Oh, they call him an immigrant here. Shot him in the leg. Agent shot a Venezuelan man who was resisting arrest. The shooting comes a week after the ICE shooting. Minneapolis. He violently assaulted the officer. 2 other people came out of the building and attacked the officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle. Wow, the other 2 people were in custody as well. Good. Good. But they call him an immigrant. I suspect he's a criminal alien invader. Or he's got temporary protected status. Well, they're the ones instigating this. That's what's going to happen. Okay, I've asked a couple times here now. Renee Talley, 1118. That was 3 minutes ago. You asked if you may ask for help here. I'm waiting. What is your question? Still not here. $487. Wow. My cable bill is $302 a month. Iran did shut its airspace down. That's correct. Mad Max got his computer working. Thank you for 35 Rand. Yeah, I reported on this too, Max. You must not have been here. Yeah, they defied orders. Is this Peter Fabricius? Yep. So now, there you go. 3 Iranian Navy ships remain in False Bay and 1 participated in exercise. Yep. Yep. South African National Defense Force appears to have defied orders from President Ramaphosa withdrawal. So then Angie Mocheka should be fired. President decided at the weekend that Iran should withdraw its warships from the exercise. Sorry, I didn't realize it was still open there. There we go. There we go. Let's take it back there. Any refugees that went to San Diego? I have no idea. A place called Bridge of Hope there, helping African refugees, run by Randy Kay. I have no idea. No idea. Sorry, Krista. Last night I asked why Dilo, Kenya have an internet blackout. Who is Dilo, Kenya? I don't know what Dilo, Kenya is. Sally. And Tali, I'm still waiting. Why do you ask if you ask for get help here and then you don't? Renee Tali, you say you want help? I'm looking. Did I miss Renee Tali's follow-up? I don't see it. I'm looking. Oh, there it is. Yeah, but I don't. You says you did reply, but I don't see any reply there. There's nothing in between. What do I think about Cleveland, Ohio? I've answered that question half a dozen times. I'm not a fan of it. I answered it last night, in fact. Yeah, I know, Matt. You weren't here yesterday, so. Yeah, please repost it, Renee Tali. Okay. I don't see it here. It doesn't show up here. Got a call yesterday. Cool beans, Colonel YFN. Good luck to you. Okay. Natasha, off to school and work. Just wanted to say thank you for everything you do, spreading the truth and caring. You're very welcome. The honorary consul of the South African Republic, orange, white, and blue, Simonstown, gives permission to make a recreational angling reef with the Persian puddle pirate rusty bucket. Maybe you went to work already, Vimpicone. Yeah. No, I don't care for it. I mean, it's okay. It's got its nice parts, but Cleveland doesn't do anything for me. They used to call it the mistake by the lake back in the day. That's what they called Cleveland back in the day. What's this thing? That's not. There we go. My microphone's acting up there, the mount. Oh, Kenya have an internet blackout? I didn't know what Dillo was. Okay. I didn't see anything about a Kenya internet blackout. That's news to me. I didn't see that. Let me see if I can find something on it. And then I can comment on it. Well, I don't know about Kenya. Uganda's got one because of the election. The election's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Uganda's election is tomorrow. I don't know about Kenya having one, but Uganda has internet blackout. That's for sure. Okay, whatever she's posting, it's not showing up. Are you putting some word in there that's banned? I don't see anything from Renee Tali or whatever it was there. I'm still looking. I see nothing showing up. Yeah, I'm not surprised Nancy Mason's asking for that. Yep. Yep. No, that's what they used to call Cleveland, mistake by the lake. I've been to Cleveland. I was just there a couple years ago. And when I retired, well, a couple years ago now, 6 years ago, when I retired from the Army, I was in Cleveland because I wasn't getting paid. That's where our finance office is for retirees is in Cleveland, Ohio. Go figure. It's in Indianapolis for active duty for all military, but for retirees for the Army, it's in Cleveland, and they're antiquated. There's no protest. What? Yeah, it's all about Minnesota. Yeah. Well, I don't know why Kenya's shut down. There's no reporting on Kenya that I can find, but I know Uganda shut down. It's because of the elections. Yep, it's because of the elections. They don't want people to see what's going on. Yeah, YouTube may be blocking what you wrote. I mean, especially if you use something inappropriate. It's not me blocking it. I don't see anything deleted. I just don't see your message. I saw you can you ask a question on behalf of someone else? Then I did post it, and there's nothing in between. If anyone saw her message, let me know. Exactly. I like Light Rain's approach from Eastern Washington State. He says, once you're here, no matter where you land, don't be disheartened if it's not to your liking. Just get your feet underneath you and move. It's a big, beautiful country. If you don't like Michigan, move to Ohio. If you don't like Ohio, move to Pennsylvania. You don't like Pennsylvania, move to Maine. You don't like Maine, move to Oklahoma. You don't like Oklahoma, move to New Mexico. There it is. Please help. I'm not sure why Colonel can see my post. Nothing inappropriate as far as I know. Well, I don't see anything. I see you there. Topeka, someone asked me that question yesterday. Wasn't it you, Loretta? I said it's fine. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. It's kind of boring. Yeah, again, Renee, I don't see it. I mean, send me an email. I mean, if you're having this much trouble getting it posted, send me an email. But it's not showing up. Yeah, no one can see your questions. None of us are seeing it. All we're seeing is you're saying that you sent it. All right, Utopi, take care, man. But send me an email. Yeah, nobody's blocking it. Utopi just retracted his message, though. Okay. Not sure if this was mentioned, but have you seen the alleged survivor statement from Venezuela raid? He describes what happened when the U.S. troops landed. No, I did not, Neff. I did not. I heard that there was a statement, but I didn't see it. Well, I mean, you talking about Quebec? You talking about Quebec? Exactly, Charles just posted. Yeah, thank you, Renee. Send it now, and I'll try to read it before I go to bed. I have reasonable facts of someone who actually went undercover into the far left, which is most of the people protesting are communists that want to overthrow the government, not just Democrats. Yep. Francois Bluebau, interesting name. Well, they've got provincial elections coming up in the fall, and maybe he's just positioning himself for that. So you're talking about Quebec. There you go. New York Times covered that. Premier Francois Legault has become Canada's most popular provincial leader during the pandemic, thanks to his reassuring avuncular persona. Wasn't reassuring to me. Yep. Now he's deeply unpopular. 7 years in power. Months of deficit attempts to revive his standing in the polls. The Québécois want change. The Québécois. Yep. For the good of the party, and especially for the good of Quebec, I'm announcing I will resign as premier. 68 years old. Yep, he's done. I think it's good. The party Québécois enjoys a strong lead in the polls. His charismatic leader, Pierre Saint-Pierre Plamondon, has said that if his party takes power, he'll hold a referendum of independence. Well, there you go. Canada. We're going to have Alberta become independent, or 51st state, and we're going to have Québécois break away too. Yep. Speaks maybe 20 troops landing and how they cut through the security forces like there were nothing. Also mentioned at one point use of a sonic weapon of sorts. Yeah, there's a lot of rumors about that. I can neither confirm nor deny that they have such a thing. Yeah, she's sending an email. I see that, but let me go check my email and the hundreds of others that I have come in today. Phew. Okay. I'm gonna print this email out here. Okay, that doesn't help me. Her email address, or the email address you gave me here, does help. January 10th, someone sent me this. Yeah, okay. Well, I got you. All right. Well, I mean, this person made a bad decision here based on the email that the person sent me there, Renee. The email that person sent me, that person made a bad decision. They made a bad decision. I don't know that I can help them. I'll see if I can, but I don't know that I can help them. We can't provide accommodation when people make bad decisions. Oh, the All Blacks coach, they sacked him? Wow. Let's check on that. Wow. Scott Robertson fired. Wow. God, what's with this freaking thing? Oh, all these freaking ad blocking things drive me nuts. Gee, many crickets. Scott Robertson fired as All Blacks coach. Wow. On behalf of New Zealand Rugby, I'd like to thank Scott for his contribution to All Blacks. Always, he has continued to put the All Blacks first. But you didn't put him first. Wow. His 2-year tenure ended abruptly today. Wow. Well, this is what happens, I guess, when you lose to the Springboks on September 13th. In the biggest defeat all time, 43-10. Wow. Wow. So what was his record? Wow. Scott Robertson is gone. I have to say I'm not really surprised. New Zealand rugby has no mercy. No mercy. So, let's see, his coaching career. New Zealand, 23 tests. Crusaders, 86. Canterbury, 69. Bad Plenty, 16. Doesn't say what his record was in All Blacks. Okay, 20 wins, 7 losses. 74% win rate. 74% win rate wasn't good enough for the All Blacks. Wow, that's brutal. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. You're welcome, Renee. I'll see if I can do something, but I can't promise anything. That's based on what little information the person sent me. It looks like they made a bad decision. Okay, that's not that one. That's this one here. Okay. Person used to live in this place, now relocated to this place, waiting for a ticket. Well, why are you waiting for a ticket? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me. I've said this many, many times. If you are told to be prepared to leave the country 2 to 4 weeks, that doesn't mean liquidate everything. It doesn't mean cancel your lease. It doesn't mean give up your farm, give up your house, your abode, and go live in a hotel. It means that you need to be able to close your things off in as quick as 2 to 4 weeks when you're told. But we've seen that most people get notified 3 to 4 days before they're told. So this is a problem of your own making. and you're not this person's not the first person. It's not Renee. It's someone else. Not the first person that's done this. It is impossible for us to keep taking care of people who make dumb decisions. And if it hurts a person's feeling, it is a dumb decision. No one told you to move out of your home. No one told you that. And this person is looking for a combination until they get a plane ticket. I don't know when you're going to get a plane ticket. So what do I tell somebody? I have a person that wants to stay in a place. Can you accommodate them until the rapture? I don't know when they're going to get a ticket. I think I recognize this person's name from something before. Okay. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the email. I mean, it's possible. People don't convey things correctly in emails sometimes. Yep, Quids made the same bad decision, but at least the wife kept the job. There you go. We bought almost everything yesterday. Well, congratulations, Vimpy. Okay. Yeah, no. I think Razor was a good coach. I just think the All Blacks didn't perform. I don't blame the coach for that. It's just like I didn't blame Gary Gold for the USA not making the World Cup. That wasn't his fault that player rushed in and entered from the side when we were about to win the game on a penalty kick, and the penalty was overturned. Exactly, Renell. I've told people multiple times not to act until they receive the email. And this person says they watch all my videos. They should have known that. Sell unwanted goods, not your fridge, not your car. Don't give up your housing. Not a happy camper's back. Good to see you, man. So, Charles Edward Kalk, let me explain something to you. You are a refugee who is desperate to escape persecution. Your life is in jeopardy. Most refugees come with nothing. So the preference is to create a problem for other people? If you sold something that you had, a house, then you should have cash to find someplace to stay temporarily and not be asking me for accommodation. If you had a rental contract and you canceled a rental contract, why did you do that? Why did you do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. And not sold to be taken by homeless. So what? So it's taken by homeless people. You're leaving. You're not coming back. You're leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when you'll go back again. It ain't gonna happen. So I'm trying to be sympathetic here, but it's hard to be sympathetic to these decisions. Very hard. If you're here for the minimum amount of time, you can play for the Eagles. Yep. We have Hunku Hammerhuis, who was born in South Africa. He plays for the Eagles, but he grew up here. And then we have the scrub half who's playing for the Eagles right now. What's his name? He's born in South Africa. I think she made a bad decision since where she lived is so far. Traveling up and down with the bus is hard. I get that, Renee. I get that. But I don't understand how people are told, be prepared to leave. That doesn't mean you're leaving. I guess maybe because I was in the Army. A be prepared mission means you have to be ready in that time frame. So in theory, if you're told be prepared in 2 to 4 weeks, that means for 14 days you don't have to worry about anything. You're not going anywhere. That's what be prepared means. So maybe it's because I was in the Army and I get the terminology. Maybe that's why, Renee. And I'm not trying to crap on the person. I'm just trying to say that this is not the first person that's done this. I've had several people that have created crises that I've had to fix for them. It's not my job, but I do it. Exactly. I mean, people selling property takes months for deeds to transfer. The deeds office are behind. People don't understand. Get in your car with a go bag and you're gone. Exactly. I can't help but chuckling listening to some of these refugees and their issues coming from someone who immigrated to the U.S. with nothing, no help, slept on floors. Blood Cup, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. Yes, cover the ICE shooting. It's not an ICE shooting. It's a criminal alien invader getting shot. Let's term it properly. Flight tickets, and then got it canceled. The government shut down weather, so there are definitely people who were dealt a bad hand. There are some people, not many, Jakes, and that only happened from 26 September until the 10th or 12th of October. We've already dealt with most of those people. Some are still stuck in South Africa. I have heard of a few people this week who claim their tickets were canceled, but no one has shown me anything. That is being dealt a tough hand. But that's not what happened here. This is a person that didn't want to travel back and forth between a place that was distant from Pretoria to Pretoria, and so they got rid of their place there and went to Pretoria on a promise that they gave themselves. No one gave them a promise. That's difficult to fix. JP in high school. Who? JP Peterson? No. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. You know, the scrum half. Oh, damn it. I know his name. You put JP. Don't bother to put his full name there. JP Smith. No, Ruben de Haas. Ruben de Haas. That's what I'm talking about. Ruben de Haas. You're talking about JP Smith. That's why it didn't make any sense. I have to vacate my property in a month. I sold my property and transfers registered to new owners, but fortunately, down in Durban for holiday park. Well, there you go, Alan. That works out pretty well. Had a young lady in interviews, sold everything and was living with a pension. We're still waiting. I really hope she's out by now. Well, Charles, lots of people making stupid decisions and not very responsible. And it, you know, I mean, I'm not going to pick on anybody that said anything in the chat or anybody that sent me an email or sent me a text, but I really have to question just how productive some of these people have been in South African society with the life decisions they make. It's really a questionable thing to me. I don't know. Charles says, I did not disagree with you. And if you sold your house, you must be able to at least be able to rent a place. Well, exactly. I think we both agree on that. Property lawyers don't pay unless deeds transfer. Funds stuck for months, not good. Find a reliable agent, rent a room, get used to 2K backpackers, 3K room, or 5K apartment. Keep your job as long as possible. Yep. The only reason all these issues rise is all these protesters. Obama number for report was way ahead of Trump. Yep. We're also waiting since the end of September. We're holding on. Well, I hope you go too soon. I really, first off, I probably hope more than most of you. I mean, I'm sure you personally hope a lot, but I hope more than most of you that these people get out because I'm tired of hearing about it. Tired of hearing it. I got approval in September. I got approval in November. I got approval in December, and I'm still here. I'm tired of hearing about it. I want you here just as much as anyone else, even though I don't want anybody in the program. But then that doesn't make my life any easier because I'll get phone calls all the time. Oh, hello, I'm in Chattanooga and they're treating me like crap. My daughter is in Tallahassee. Their agent's horrible. They put him in a neighborhood with all these Muslims. It was for transferring. I have a plan where to go. See, you're just thinking ahead. Yep. Neighbor's house sold in 2 days. Don't care. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I can point to places in Joburg that haven't sold in 3 years. And I know a few famous South Africans who put their house in the market for 2 and 3 years and nobody bought it. Centurion, Joburg, Sandton. Yeah, but what you were told is be prepared. You weren't told you're flying in 2 to 4 weeks. People hear what they want to hear. You were excited, you got approved, and you heard what you wanted to hear. The email, the message is that you need to be prepared to leave in 2 to 4 weeks, not that you're leaving 2 to 4 weeks. Oh, yes, Loretta. I've said it all along. I'm not advocating for the program. I'm also not telling people they can't come. I'm just here to tell people the truth. All right, Wendy, take care. Well, we buy cars is great now, but wait till they get inundated with thousands of cars. They won't be buying them all. You're another refugee from another country so people can see the bigger picture, Colonel. Yeah, I don't know refugees from other countries. I'd be happy to do it. Maybe I can find somebody here in central Pennsylvania as a refugee. That's a good idea, actually. Let me make a note of that. We'll look for refugee agencies near me. What's this crap? Oh, that's for the menu. Okay, I need to work on that tomorrow. Okay, refugee, Central PA. Okay, cool. I'll see if I can't find somebody. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. 41 days. It's the realtor, not the market. I don't know about that, Chasigi. I mean, I can go on to Seif. I can go on to what's the one, the big one there. I can't think of the name right now. Having a senior moment, and I can find all kinds of farms that are for sale. Been there for sale forever. Yep. Anyway, it is time to wrap it up here, folks. I've got a headache. If anybody catches that interview on 702, please catch the audio, record it for me, send it to me, so that I can, if I need to, have evidence for the lawsuit. You guys are welcome. All right. Take care, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't have anything planned tomorrow other than I've got to work on a few things like this VFW menu and schedule things. Hey, from the Meadow. Earlier, I mentioned on Ronaldo's program that we have the venue. We have an artist who wants to perform. We have the Bourbons. They're going to be there. You can bring your own meat to the braai. It'll start at noon on the 31st. We'll have the braai lit up by 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. And so it's in Argyle, Texas. Looking forward to it. We'll have a press release out. I'll check on that. Work foreign affairs and corporate in 4 countries. Mission report, logistics arrangements, legal applications, culture immersion. I will provide one at a cost. Yeah, Blue Flame. That's a good approach. When I hear 50 people leave, that means 50 closer to us. Okay. All right. All righty. Having a plan in place because I burnt myself with my previous impetuous. Some people don't understand my caution. No, I appreciate having your ducks in a row. I usually have my ducks in a row too. Zed Martinez, didn't even know you were there. You're very welcome. Good night, guys. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow or later today. What is it now? That's still tomorrow for me. 12 minutes. So I'll see you tomorrow sometime. Today for South Africans. Okay. You guys take care. Bye-bye. Hi, Shawnee. Minnesota. Yeah, were you sleeping with the little fella? Yeah, I was sleeping with the little feller. Yeah, no, he's a crazy one. That one, yeah, for sure. No, I was up there in Brainerd sleeping with the little feller. Yeah, no, it's crazy. He's crazy. Yeah, from Brainerd. No, we were having some lutefisk. It was a nice time indeed. Yeah, no, absolutely lutefisk. You'll love it. Come to Minnesota. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the little feller. Good night. Tonight on the Prairie Home Companion with Garrison Keeler.